In this video, I'm going to show you how you can easily turn your YouTube videos into SEO optimized blog posts. Hi everyone, it's Kevin from Solopreneur. This is a fun one. It's something I've been doing for a long time, and I realized that there's not a lot of resources talking about this topic. In fact, I don't see a lot of people doing it, and that is you spend all this time making these YouTube videos if you're a creator, and seldom do I see people making blog posts out of them. And the other part is not a lot of people explain how to even do that. And the reason for that is this: it's people get really scared of the whole content angle. Typically when you have a video, you made a video because obviously you didn't want to write about it, or it's either or. Not often do we have a situation where you make this 10-15 minute video and then you also have the time and capacity to go off and make the blog post version out of that. Now, obviously, that is the best case scenario, that you make content tailored for each format. So people who like the video format, you make a video. People who like to read and text, you make text. But that is a huge endeavor to make posts out of every single video. So what I'm going to show you here is how I easily do this. I'm making my YouTube videos into blog posts in under 5 minutes, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's say we want to do this video. Now, like most people, you probably have some write-up in here in your description. But of course, like this is even my content, I have a little bit of preamble here, all the stuff that I mentioned in the video, so the links to them, so it's helpful that everyone can just easily find the links that I mentioned, the tools and techniques and any other sites and resources. So we have like one sentence description here, the links, and maybe just a bit more about the video. Now, this is clearly not enough to make a blog post. And even if you did make it, it's not going to rank because there's so little content. There's so much research right now showing that long form content is what Google prefers. And the reason for that is Google has a much better idea of what that page is about. Now, there's exceptions to every rule, but that's typically what people have been saying. And, Google keeps changing the algorithm, so that could change. But I'm just going to show you how we can easily do this. So what we want to do is jump into our website software. So I'm going to show you guys here in both WordPress and Wix, because I know those are two of the most familiar ones. If you don't have a website already, you can use WordPress if you're a little bit more technical. It does take longer. I would recommend that if you're just getting started or you really don't have the time or the background to do a lot of technical things and configurations on the back end, then I would go with Wix. It's just a drag and drop editor. It's so easy to set up, built-in blog, and as you can see here, so we just pick a template and everything is just drag and drop, and you'll see that WordPress isn't like that. Now, I'm going to show you guys one plugin that I use for WordPress that can make it a little bit more like this, but it's still more technical. So I think if you're not sure if you should be using WordPress or Wix, then I'd probably go with Wix, because WordPress is a very specific, it's for a very specific audience. It's for someone a little bit more technical, if you want to take the time to learn it, and it's a little bit more customizable, but for, I'd say 90-95% of use cases, Wix will be fine. So anyway, so once you pick a template in Wix, you just go to my blog, create a post, and off we go. So the first thing we want to do is there's a difference between how you write titles for YouTube and how you write titles for Google. So Google owns YouTube, but it's very different, right? So when you're writing content titles for YouTube, you're writing them in a way that's a mix of search engine and human intent, right? So you pick keywords, but you also pick things that'll be, when people see them in their feed, they'll want to click on them. But because the recommendation engine is so strong for YouTube, so very important. Now, when you're doing it for Google, it's almost, I'd say 80-90% you're writing for the spider, for search, right? I mean, it's not that if you write awesome headlines, and then but it's not SEO optimized, then it's going to show up and then people will pick it because they're so intrigued by your headline. It's irrelevant. The point is SEO is number one for Google. And so what you don't want to do is copy and paste your title from you. That's YouTube optimized. If you're using something like TubeBuddy or something to optimize your YouTube titles, you don't want to paste that into Google. That's a horrible idea. So what you want to do is, for the sake of time, I've done this a little bit ahead of time here, but so just to keep this video short, but so we want to look into how to pick the perfect domain name that will instantly boost your rankings. I tried a bunch of different searches, and I got and using this tool called SEMrush. Super easy to use, guys. It's free to get started. I'll link it in the description. So you can try all sorts of keywords, and it'll show you what the difficulty is. So we can see here how to choose a good domain for your business. 50 searches a month, but keyword difficulty 75 out of 100. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Then look at this one, right? I mean, 40% out of 1. So they have competition and keyword difficulty. So you just look at these in tandem. So I think what would be good for us is looking at this. Okay, how to choose a good domain name for SEO. Perfect. And so volume 10 searches a month, and competition is 0.11. Perfect. Now you might say, whoa, 10 searches a month, that's not a lot. But what you have to understand is that this is just one string. This is just a broad match phrase. Google now ranks you semantically for hundreds of phrases that are related to this. So it's more about the intent and the learning. So ranking for one keyword string, if you want, will now rank you for tons of related related queries. So don't worry about that as much, especially if you're just starting out with your blog. You're not going to beat this, right? I mean, you're probably going up. We can even just, it's probably beyond the scope of this, but we can see who's ranking for this. I don't want to get too into the SEO tutorial, but I can promise you with some huge domain providers like GoDaddy and stuff, and you're not going to beat them for that keyword. It's just a waste of your time. You're better off ranking for what you can get and doing a good volume of content that consistently gets you traffic. So anyway, so let's go with this one, right? How to choose a good domain name for your blog. So then we jump into our creator, right? So if we're in WordPress, we can just go to add new post. Likewise in Wix, like I did, I'll do it again here. Go down to blog, create a post. So super easy, right, guys? So I'm gonna go in here, and whether we're doing it in here, how to choose, you might want to do title case, makes everything look a little bit nicer. And then we just start typing our content, right? So super easy. In something like Wix, we just go here, this is why I love Wix. Just copy you've already made this, you're in this studio view right here. Just go in here in your Wix portal. A little hard to do both at the same time, but I'm doing it for you guys. So there we go, right? We just added the video, boom, seconds. And then what we want to do, okay, enter. And then we're going to go over here and we're just going to grab our text, right? So we're going to grab our text right here. In this video, we'll cover all that right over here. Close that. Ooh, I didn't copy that correctly. Right, and then of course you want to clean it up, right? So you're gonna clean this up now, right? Super easy. You're just gonna hit enter, clean this up, right? And so you would just clean this up. For the sake of time, I'm not gonna clean this up for you guys right now. I'm sure you see what I'm doing. And of course, if you want to take your links that are, because YouTube doesn't permit hyperlinking, you could just do that. And then go over here and you can make that into a hyperlink, so it's actually inside, so it's nice and clean. It's not like a separate link like YouTube. So you can hyperlink. Likewise, just do the same thing really quickly in WordPress. Now this is the default editor for WordPress. Doesn't look that nice, but if you get this plugin called Elementor, which is free, I'll link it in the description if you guys are using WordPress. It makes it really nice like this, so you can just like drag stuff in. So okay, I can drag in a video placeholder, nice. And so I go edit, and then I get the same thing. So you guys can see here, it's really pretty straightforward. And then of course you can go here, drag in some text editor, same thing. Just like Wix, we can grab this and paste it in here. Of course, format it and clean it up, obviously. You also want to go in the back end and make sure everything makes sense. So in something like Wix, you can go here, you can make sure you have a good, the URL makes sense, right? So how to choose a good domain name for your blog, how to choose a good domain name for your blog, right? You could just take some keywords out so it's not as long. Choose good domain name blog. I would go like that, right? Choose good domain name blog, right? Something like that. Just shorten it out. The title matches that. Then how to choose and get the .com domain you want. You can have a description here, which is what we have down here. And you can see how it'll preview on Google. You can go to categories and make sure you add like SEO. You add some categories, right? These are like tags, optimization, and in WordPress, likewise, we can go in here and we can set the URL. So set the URL exactly like we did here. We would edit it to make sure it's shorter. We can add tags. We can add our categories as well. So I have my categories pre-set up because this is my website. It happens to be on WordPress. So you can set a featured image. What I like to do for my featured images, you've already created this for YouTube, so it's super easy, guys. So like, look, okay, I've already made this thumbnail for YouTube. So all I need to do is just re-upload it. Remember, a lot of people are lazy and they don't do this, but add alt tags and descriptions. There's a tiny bit of SEO, but they add up, right? So like you can just try some alternate ones. Choose the perfect domain and then just take that and just copy that all the way through, because then Google's going to know. The spider can't read images, but it can read alt tags. And so Wix will also do that for you automatically. You can see here, right? It just pulled it for you, so you don't even have to worry about that. You can change it if you want, but no need for that. Wix will just pull it from the YouTube video for you. Again, like I said, Wix is a little bit easier. You have to go down here and go to the SEO title, just like in Wix. You can go in SEO and you can change it. You want to make sure that that matches this. Again, Wix has done it for you. WordPress, we just need to go back in here and do this. If you have the Yoast plugin, so you have to download this plugin Yoast. I'm almost 100% sure your WordPress installation comes with it. If it doesn't, I'll link it as well. And then you want to make sure you write a good description for both. But for how we solve for the one problem everyone has, and which is content. You want to get your YouTube transcript, because your transcript is what is going to be filled with relevant keywords. It's going to be original content. So we go back to our YouTube video, and what we do is simply this. You can pause this. You can click on this right here. Go open transcript. Then that's it. Like, it's all right here for you. You just copy it, right? And that's done for you. And then if you go to, let's just do this in WordPress as an example, I might go ahead and then I might say full transcript below. Then you can grab a text section right here, add it in, and then all we need to do is paste. All right, so, and boom. You can just go through here and you can see how many keywords are in here just automatically, because you were talking about all this stuff in your video. So look how much content you have. Now, if you want to really take it to the next level, you can actually go through your transcript if you have the time and clean it up, because this is using YouTube's automatic transcript generator. So there may be some errors. I've seen it's maybe like 80-90% accurate. It's pretty good actually, but if you really want to go in here and clean it up, you can. Personally, I don't. Just from an 80-20 perspective, this is going to give me 80% of the result, and it doesn't matter. I'd rather have more videos than do one of these perfectly, right? So likewise, you can go in here and you can add the transcript as well, right? So if you just pasted it in here, boom, there's your transcript, and you just have to make it a bottom section, right? So what I would do is I would just say full transcript, right? Just like that. And you can You can bold that if you want. You want to make that a little bit like a title, right? You can use these little to make it a little bit nicer. But this here, no one is actually going to be reading this. This is completely for the Google Spider. So that's why you want to put it at the bottom of your video. People are going to look in here and they're going to be like, oh, okay. Then they see full transcript. And they're not going to be turned off by that because they're going to be like, oh, cool, he has a transcript of the whole video. And also, it's actually helpful in a way because some people, believe it or not, they browse stuff, especially on social media, with the volume off. Right? So you might even be shocked that people actually find this helpful. It certainly doesn't hurt from a human experience. So it's a win-win for everyone. And of course, once you publish it, it's live and then it can start being crawled. So and so you can publish over here. And of course, if you just go back into the main WordPress section, you can just go into any post, edit it, and just hit publish, and then it's live, right? So it took a little bit longer because I'm doing 2 at a time, but to recap, the basic steps were to pick your title, make sure you research it with SEMrush, take all this description, throw it into your website, clean it up. If you have links, make sure they're hyperlinked because you should. Then simply grab your thumbnail that you already made for your YouTube video, and then grab your transcript. And then make sure that, of course, on the back end, whatever keyword you got for your title matches all the stuff in your SEO. So your title matches your H1 tag, which is like your main heading, matches, you mention it in the description, the meta description, you mention it in here. Meta description I'll show you in here as well in WordPress to show you guys, right? So you mention it in here, how to choose a name for your blog, and then you continue on. So that's the long and short of it. But the main booster here that is going to bring you most of the results is copying that caption. If you like the video, like and subscribe. If you have any questions about this method, I know I went through a lot pretty quickly. Just drop a comment down below and I'll do my best to respond. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.